Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I'm on my way to see about what medication I had received a little less than a month ago. I just looked at it a few days ago, and I'm like, I don't know this pill. I've been on this medication for I don't know how many years. So, I do the thing of looking it up online, on images and, typing it in. Nothing about this actual pill, the pill. Now, the prescription is my prescription is right. I mean, the name typed out, but the actual pill itself, there's none on there. Well, they have one that says question mark. I'm like, question mark? Locate pill? Somebody must have took a picture of it, sent it in, said, what is this pill? Kind of thing. They didn't have an answer. But it's the one that I have. I think that's odd. I've been taking it for years, never seen this. It's a generic itself. So anyway, so then I was going to do this, and then yesterday I was going to, and then today I was going to, but then I got a text from my pharmacist saying, do I want to renew that pill? And I'm like, what? I just got it, and that was renewed for 90 days. And I don't like how they get so weird. When you're dealing with technology and prescriptions, this has not been an area I've had good luck with, at all. And yeah, things like this happen. Of course, things like this happen to me. I really do feel kind of like that I have the weirdest things. If something can go wrong, the Murphy's Law kind of thing, something can go wrong, it will. And here's one of them. I mean, when does this happen? Well, I'll answer that. The reason why I feel this way is because it was about, let's see. Okay, it was around 20 years ago, I guess, that I met this guy from one of my sisters. He was a lawyer. And where he is, I don't know if he's still alive or what. But he was kind of freaky looking, freaky acting, and I had forgotten about him, really. He was, I don't know, I know he was wearing a wig, and it was though as he had been living in his past. Why does my air conditioner feel like it's not working? Please don't do that. Anyway, he was acting like he was 20 years younger than he was. And he was wearing a wig, and he had been he had been a lawyer to some band, well known. I'll leave out the name of it, but because I'll probably get it wrong. And I guess he wanted to still look like he did when he was with him or something. And he would bring that up, how he had been their lawyer, bragging and stuff, which I thought they weren't supposed to do, but hey, what do I know? Anyway, he was just odd. And then I told my sister this guy was pretty odd, and she said that she notices that, but she thinks that it's because his late wife had been given a prescription of some medication, and it was wrong, and it killed her. Okay. So I remember that, wow, that was like 20 years ago, like I said. And, the problem, wasn't as sophisticated as it is 20 years later. It was still kind of sophisticated then. Okay, I was in a school that had a school zone there, so of course I turned it off. I mean, I wasn't in the school zone at the time I turned it off. It was right before it. Like everybody else, I slowed down, You can't use your cell phone when you're in a school zone. So I slowed down to 20. That's what it is here. And there were 3 lanes, and then I could hear somebody, not behind me, but behind the next row or the row over, lane over, honking. And I'm like, tell me there's not some idiot thinks that all of us, it was kind of busy, that all of us are driving the wrong speed. I mean, when people are driving like 20, there's something going on, And next thing I know, we get closer to the light, and somebody whips in and out, you know, of all these people going 20, and then comes one that was flying, like going, I don't know how fast, and got in front of me and in front of somebody. It was behind one beside me, whipped in between me and beside me, and somehow whipped in front of that one. I think they moved over because they were scared, probably. And then it moved in front of me, and I just backed off, and then it moved back over, you know, whipped in front of that person, and it was like, what the crap, you know, something like that. Okay, I hope I'm not too close. But anyway, so then I got to the light, and I'm going to turn, so I'm getting into the turning lane to the left, you know, and I see that truck again. It was a big black Bubba truck. I'm like, what are you doing? And were they just whipping in and out between people on purpose? And it tried to scoot in front of me. It was too over. And I was already going, so there was no way I could have stopped. You know, I wasn't going to anyway. But it would have hit me, you know, if they hadn't. So they had enough of brain left to stop, not to hit me. But who would not be able to tell that if a whole bunch of cars are going 20, there's a reason? I'm telling you, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, just as I get into this pharmacy, I'm going to go ask over there. My pharmacy calls me. I had called the pharmacy, my pharmacy, before, and let's just say their automated system's all messed up. And I was able to leave a voicemail, but I didn't know when they'd call me back. And I was going here anyway, so you know, to the other. Anyway, and then guess who calls me back? Yeah, my pharmacy calls back. And apparently it's an okay medication. What I was going for was basically one that I'd never seen looked before at all. So, like I said, and you know, because you know, you learn from other people's experience. Some of us do. Some of us learn from other people's experiences. And yes, I know would be a rare situation that would happen. And as I was kind of hinting at, the guy was a little on the strange side. So, I mean, he was a lawyer, but all that. And just because you're a lawyer doesn't make you, you know, or a doctor, or no matter what. You know, they're weird people and all. And, yeah, there were some suspicions, so, you know, who even knows if the story was true? That's the funny thing. Who knows? People these days, but that was 20 years ago, but so what? But to me, at this age, that doesn't seem like that far long ago, and that things weren't all that different. But when it comes down to it, like from when I was a child, teenager, in my early 20s, things are so different now. Just unbelievably different. And I mean, I've been through the changes with the computers, and just having a computer. 1982 was when I had my first one, and all the changes that have come about, you know. And I always have to say this when I talk about them: the people who now, I don't care what age you are now, what age group it is, that say that people from the baby boomers, I'm a baby boomer, they don't know anything about computers. Who do you think created this stuff? Seriously. It was even generations before mine. I think the person who made the first computer was not my mother's generation, but her mother's, her parents, you know, that generation. It's called the greatest generation. And, yeah, so, you know, because there weren't that many of us that were using it back then, because it was really new, and those of us who were in this whole thing were called a dirty 4-letter word back then. Geek. G-E-E-K. That was a dirty 4-letter word. Well, it's not really dirty. It's one of those, like, you're one of those. You know, you're one of those geeks. And, you know, that stuff is never going to take off. People who would say that to people like me. And we gave them we called them non-modems. And I have a feeling those people these days who are saying people like us don't know anything about computers and the internet and all that, don't even know what a modem is. Some of them, not all of them. Some are my generation because they don't understand stuff. They weren't all that into it. They still have that mentality of, oh, that's just a bunch of geeks. They're just a bunch of geeks, who know that kind of stuff. Or they know, hey, I want to do something. Let me hint to one of these young people. They understand all this stuff. So they don't have to learn themselves. Some of them. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. But I just want to mention that. I don't care what generation you're from. They could be, there's still people my parents' age around. Don't think my grandmother, she was from the greatest generation. But, my grandparents, yeah. But no, but there's some still, and they're still going to have that mentality, So people stop that. Stop being ageist, really. I don't care. Like I said, I'm not picking on any generation saying they're the ones who say it about my generation. But it can be any generation who's going to say it. Well, they probably shouldn't work in that kind of field because they don't really, my generation doesn't understand that. No, stop speaking for the rest of us. See what I'm saying? And I even looked up one time and they said the generation under mine, which is Gen X, that they're the ones who create. Nope, sorry, I was there then, so you're wrong. I'll tell you, of course I didn't know everywhere, all over the world or anything like that. Neither did they. What it was like. So you're going to take credit for something somebody else had already started, and day before, that generation before, and it goes back. If you study the history of how it all came about, yeah, I had to do that in university. So, okay, that was kind of strange. There was a sign back there that said what school zone was in, but I passed that, I don't know, far enough to know that it's no longer in the school zone. But where is the sign that says that it wasn't? The school zone ended? I don't know. Way back there. So, it says speed limit 30, flashing right there. So, it says, there, I'm going 30, the person behind me is going 33. Anyway, these roads are kind of odd because like some of them will say 30, and then the next one over says 35. And then another one on the other side will say 40, I think. One of them. I am turned around. I do all this driving and I get turned around. Yeah, because this gets confusing out here. We were out there yesterday, and Adam, yesterday, day before, whenever. And Adam was like, I don't understand. Where are we? No, I'm supposed to be over there. Hello. So I'm going in the wrong side. It gets confusing. Plus they redid all this out here. It is. Did you make it better or did you make it more confusing? Don't know. It actually looks better, but it's still like one place they didn't put a. Whoa, that was my bad. They didn't put a light over there, and because they didn't put a light. For nighttime, it's very, very messy at nighttime. It's scary at nighttime. Okay, anyway, what was I going to talk about to start off with? Well, I was telling about that weird thing that happened to that guy. And just meeting somebody, and that happened. I'm going to push this up like that in case some kids. I don't put people's kids in my videos. You're not supposed to, by the way. That's what it used to be. I don't know what it is now, but other people's kids, not without their permission. I don't know. Don't trust me. That's not my area of being a voice of authority on. Nope, not at all. I don't give anybody any advice or anything. So, anyway, sitting out here. Let's talk about this. Sitting out here, any store, any grocery store. But I say this one because one Friday night I was out here, and it was just recently. And it wasn't Friday night. It was, it was like 7 o'clock when I got here. still light. It was still light when I was driving. And as I was sitting there finishing up, you know, making a video, some weird things happen. Like, you know, you're sitting in a parking space and the person parked next to you. And there's somebody parked in front of them, but nobody parked in front of you. But they work their way in between those to go the other direction. The cars, they're going through the cars, okay, that are parked to get out and go in the other lane. They're not backing up and taking their lane to go out. They want the one in front of them and behind them, that one in front of them. Somebody did that, and I honked. The guy stopped and he stared at me, and I wasn't really paying attention. He just stopped right there, and I just kept doing what I was doing. But sometimes I realize, you know, Adam tells me things like, you know, as though, and it is true. I mean, I'm a social and behavioral scientist. I know that a lot of people have learned, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to learn or to not learn. I'm not judging any way. I know who I am and why I am this way. You know, not everybody who grew up in a rough place in Texas and where you were taught to be strong and fight your own battles, win your own wars from your own parents, saying that, your own parent or parents, and you know, you're thought of as a wimp and a wuss if you don't take up for yourself. That not everybody there would be like this either, but my own experiences, you know, is I really don't back down. And I had a situation after that one that weird. There was something else that happened weird that day, but I had another situation where I didn't back down, and Adam was like, you know, that was a Mercedes, and people like that, because whatever, he saw her, the woman, he said, they have people, she might have been in that car, and they have guns in there. He's a little older than I, and I think he was just so shocked about what happened. Just some woman drove up, we had just driven up to his place, this restaurant, and you go in and get your food, and this woman drove up on his side. He was in the passenger, I was driving. Drove up right then and almost hit him. She came in instead of straight. It was one that you park straight, not like this one that you park to, you know, the side. She came into the side, you know, like she was going to park the other way. And I looked over there because I was talking to him, and she would be behind, almost hit his door. And I looked over there, and her window was really dark, but I could still see her sitting in there doing all this, moving her body, like showing aggression, and she was going to get me for it. And I was just like, why are you guys so close? You know? And anyway, she got out of her car. I don't know how in the world she managed out. He said he didn't either, because she wasn't a small woman either. She wasn't huge, but she wasn't small. And she was wearing some really tight thing. I knew exactly how big she was. That's true. And that was disgusting, by the way. She might have thought she looked pretty. She looks disgusting. I don't care what size you are, that would look disgusting to me. When somebody knows everything about you, almost. Okay, you're going to pull in the wrong way, and then you're going to park far back. All right. Anyway, I hope he moves that. But, so I'm looking at this, and I'm talking to him. She gets out, and she's standing there right where the what is that called? The mirror over there that says, like, the objects are smaller. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. What a side view mirror. And she's standing right there like she's gonna beat my car up, beat me up, and she's looking at me and she's waving that body this way and that way with that threatening kind of thing. And I just sit in my car and looking at her like, well, what do you want? Go ahead. Yeah, really? And she can't hear me or anything, but she's just standing there doing all that. And then she walks into the store and walks into the restaurant, and it's not busy, and nobody else was in there except for the people working there. And I'm sitting there and I tell Adam, well, what am I going to do now? because that's where I was going into. And I said, I'm not going to do this with people. Back down and crap like that. So I just got out and went in. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was wrong. That is not a good thing to do. I walked in and she turned around. She saw me. Like, how dare I come in there? And she was just, she looked at me and she said, what did you say? Come on, what did you say? And I looked at the guy she was talking to, the work there. I said, if she says another word to me, call the police. And I just said it just like that. And then she starts talking again, and I think it finally, because she was trying to talk over me, it hit her what I said, and she got kind of quiet. She, you know, waving that body. Can you see me waving the body? Yeah, my camera's moving. she was just going off, man, under her breath then, because she was kind of, I think it took her a bit to say, she's now saying to call the police on me. You know, she's threatening. That's threatening. And then another guy had walked up, so I talked to him. I said, I need to get my order, you know. And he was a young guy, but I don't think I think they knew her, and he didn't like her and thought of her probably the same way, because he got real close to me, like, you know, conspiratorial, and he was saying, see this name on here, see this name on here. And I was like, yeah, you know. And I told him, I said, if she follows me out, call the police. And I meant it. I really meant it. Now, I don't call the police just, you know, to call the police, by the way. Because I had told her, I said, oh, that's okay. I'm going to call the police. And I started pushing buttons, which I wasn't pushing to call the police. But I've been told by police before, when something happened to the whole store, you know, a whole restaurant, and I was one of the people in the restaurant, and nothing happened. It was just somebody was being very offensive to us, you know, people in the restaurant. They had, it's a long story, but I've already told it recently. And anyway, maybe a video on another channel, but, or maybe it might have been one I accidentally deleted. But anyway, that if somebody's being like that in a restaurant or anywhere, we're supposed to call the police. I did not know that. They didn't say supposed to, they said you should have. Was the way I remember. They said, no, you should have called us. I said, yeah, but because of that? Yes, because of that. And so they look at it a different way we do, maybe. You know, just because this is happening. You know, they weren't threatening anybody, but it was like back talk and stuff, you know, to the customers that were there and everything. And I was one of them that was there. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't anybody's fault but theirs. And anyway, people were just trying to ignore it. Couldn't ignore it and all that. Anyway, so this woman at this place, I'm not backing down. And I say, that's not good. That's not good, because she's young. I'm 61. She was not a small woman. She was not a weak-bodied person. And she probably could have hurt me. And she probably could have had a gun. She probably could have, you know, on and on. Done all that. And like I said, I'm not saying that it's a good thing. Don't you hit me. Oh my God. My goodness. This is the second time something like that has happened. Like, here's somebody in front of me. This car right there on the next lane over almost hit the front of my car. It's the second time this happened. I'm parked right, by the way. Mine is correct. But it's that they don't know how to park or something. Not here. It happened in another place. They just get real close somehow. Like they're going to work their way in there too. Oh, boy. You know, I use these videos for entertainment purposes only. But as it said, as in my description. But it's really for me, is to vent. To vent it out. Okay, I hope I didn't get a kid in there. I went back and looked and I didn't see it. But now there's a kid over there, but I didn't see it. So if I see it, I can take it out. But like I say, I'm not perfect. But I did go back. Anyway, I don't know what's going on here. But it's 3:16. Kids are out of school, but it's a lot more activity than I'm used to. A lot more activity lately all around. That's what I'm finding weird. Is Adam is finding it weird too. We go out. It's only a couple weeks ago. And it was so much traffic, and You know, I say this about picking up an order. Well, that's because I finally went back to work. You know, I have this edema, and I have to get health insurance. I live here in Texas, and it's so messy. I don't know if I know the full story of how it works and why it works, but I have to prove that I can earn a certain amount of money, and to get the affordable health care. I wanted to pay for it, you know, myself, just pay for it monthly. But so then I had to get a job, and there's nothing I can do with edema. I have to, besides deliveries. Yeah, you know, like food deliveries. I can't even walk up the stairs because of my knees and all this. I'm 61 and have a rare health condition, and so that was the only thing I could do, because I can't even sit at home on a computer. You know, sitting at a desk with a computer. Yeah, mister, you did park wrong. He's my age. Or older, I guess. He parked so wrong. He took his half out of the middle of both lanes in front of him, or would have been in front of him if he hadn't driven through, and parked on the next one over. Why people do that? Because you can't go that direction. You have to go the other direction. Well, this one maybe, nope, you go one direction. Hopefully he does, and he's going to go the wrong direction on it. Wow. Yeah, I live around a lot of really, yeah, anyway. But, where was I? Well, now somebody else is going to do the same thing, go down the wrong way and get real close to my SUV, because they know, oh, he's come back in there now. He's going to take that spot. That person looks kind of scary, to tell you the truth. It's a huge SUV. I mean, my goodness. But anyway, this is the place to be. This is the place to be for weird things happen right now. I've seen plenty of things happen in other places. Are you gonna leave your motor running? Really? Who leaves their motor running? I don't know. Oof, all that exhaust. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go into the store just to get away from this person's exhaust. Oh, he left his dog in it. So, oh my goodness. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap this. Well, I'm gonna take some little videos while I'm in there. I'm gonna try. I don't know, I might just go home and crawl underneath my bed and hide. Where the world's gone weird. But oh well, I was saying that about, because of all my health things, the only thing I could do was to do delivery. Food, you know, I don't do the groceries. I wanted to at first, but then I realized where I live, I never knew this, that they have such steep, just the houses have such steep stairs to go up in front of their house, you know, go up to the front door. These things are steep, and there's nothing to hold on, no rails. And I think I saw one of them had rails. And I was imagining they probably had somebody, because they put them there afterwards, you can tell that someone that needed them. And that's the only reason. But other than that, they're just steps, and they're steep. And so all I can do is small stuff to where I can try to balance. Some of these were so impossible to balance on. Even Adam, he's one of those, he's older than I, he just runs upstairs, you know, doesn't hold on or anything. He's fine with it, you know. Not I want to hold on. And I don't do those with apartments, you know, try hard not to get any with apartments. And if I do, I just tell the person, can you come down and get it? Because even in apartments, they're hard to find sometimes at apartment, even though the legends, I think they call them legends. It says this apartment to this apartment. And you get up there, and it's not like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You might have 1, 17, 22, 0, even on one floor right there. They don't do them in any kind of order. Not always. Some of them are, some of them aren't. I've found more than a few that aren't, and that weren't. And anyway, I'm gonna go in there. This is too noisy. Hey everybody, this is Grace. Just went to the grocery store. Woohoo! Fun times. And anyway, I was pulling out of. They just did a lot of construction here, widen the road and all this stuff. But one of the things is that I've noticed is when I come out of that shopping center right there, and to turn right, okay, there's one lane going each way, is that they're too close. I mean, there's no median there. Okay, that's plenty of roads, but just when a person's turning out that way, yeah, there was a big truck coming that way, and it was already from this light to just, I don't know how they did it. They must have just slammed on the gas tank, and man, it was so close to me. Yeah. But there's another one that they have been doing construction, like I said, road construction, a lot of it here in Texas and north of Dallas. And there's another one. They made one lane turn. They added an additional turning lane on a road, but did not expand the road. Yeah. I have a feeling they'll be changing that before too long. They haven't finished it yet, and I have a feeling they're going to say, "Wait a minute, we have 2 turning lanes here, and only had one before turning to the right. Why would we have 2 turning to the right?" You know. And it's very confusing, and the road turning lane that turns to the left, there was one, and now it's like, my SUV will fit in it, but it's like very tight. My SUV is like a regular size. It's not the big one, it's not the little one, it's I don't even say medium, but anyway, I don't know. They may be called large, even though it's not really all that large. But they've made it too small. Way too small. So they had before, like a year ago, I guess, I don't know, they made a lane, turning lanes, and they changed it all up, and they fixed it all up. So supposedly fixed it, but what they did was they did it wrong, and they had to change it the way it was a turning lane. And man, it would cause so much confusion with people, because it was not the same as it had been for 20, 30 years, who knows. And so they had to go back and fix it and put the turning lanes back the way they were. You know, change is difficult, and there's no reason for it to change, by the way. There was no reason. It wasn't wrong the time before. That was a good way, but there was no reason. There really no reason. And they just got it wrong. So there's a lot of road construction out here. But it's very conservative, very, very conservative county. But man, they sure are taking advantage of Biden's, what do you call it, infrastructure, is it? You know, all the monies to fix all the roads. They really took advantage of that. Yeah, Adam goes around and says, it's Biden's fault. A tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, because, you know, improvement's good if they get the lanes right. That's always important. Why aren't you going? Look at how far between that person and before that. Where were you texting? That's what Adam always says. They're texting. No, he says they're using one of these other social media to watch little short videos. And you were behind me, and you thought you were going to get where? Oh, I'm telling you. Okay. I'd like to know first certain that you are turning. You don't decide the last minute that you're going to go straight. That is it. Anyway. Okay, I just had to delete my clip because some kids got in it, and I'll put kids in my videos. I try not to. I'm not perfect, but I'll go back and delete or whatever. Anyway, I was talking about how this trip home, this trip out, it's kind of like dangerous, because too many people are speeding, like in the school zone, 20 miles per hour, and apparently all of us who were going 20 miles per hour were wrong, according to 2 people who were weaving in and out. One was a big old Bubba truck, a new Bubba truck actually, but it was like, what do you want that you would do that in a school zone? And it was right in front of the school. Wow. And things like that. It's just been kind of dangerous. It's kind of like, oh, I just want to start staying home. Can't do that. But it's just getting so It's so bizarre. I mean, I was watching The Good Fight. I watched, first I had watched Elsbeth. I'm not much on TV, and finally, like the last, I don't know how long, I've started watching, you know, especially series on these other apps like Netflix and such. Finally decided I'm going to start watching and see, because I was always in the internet and all that. But well, not all of my life, because we didn't have it when I was young. But I had my first computer in 1982. Anyway, so I was all into that, and then I started watching TV, and I'm watching that, first, to get to this point, I was watching that Elsbeth show, then The Good Wife, and watched that series, and this is over time, of course, you know, just recently, since last month or no months before, whenever, and now it's The Good Fight. And the woman in The Good Fight, she's the main character. She's been saying since she was on the show, The Good Wife, you know, that things are crazy. People think that I'm not the only one. That the world has just gone too bizarre, okay? To my world, at least. I don't know about yours. But when people have no respect for other people's lives or anything, like on this road, you know, you can't go, you know, you're not supposed to go around people. And here's a fire station and a police, I think they have their satellite or something. But people just don't care. They cross, they go around people and cause people in the other lane that are coming toward them the other day to stop. And there's a speed limit. They're not wanting to go that speed limit. They're wanting to go, like it's 35 through here. They're wanting to go about 60. Okay, I'd say about 60. And the way they take off, once they pass a person or me or whomever's in front of me, there was one that passed me and a few others one time, and I was one of them, driving the speed limit, and nope, they took off like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, this has become my life lately. It's just noticing how bad it is overall. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I've just been rambling. Been wrap this one up, and I just don't know. I mean, going out, it seems like it's just you need to be wearing armor yourself, not just your automobile isn't enough. You know, and then you walk into a store and there's people in there. Oh my goodness! Sometimes it's like you're going to buy groceries and people around you are so combative with you or anybody. They're just like belligerent, and you don't know if they're on something, but just rude. You know, they're going to be first before everybody in the store, and they're going to hit you if you might be driving like you drive on the street, which would be the smartest thing to do in any place, because people know the rules. But no, they're going to get in front of you and they're going to crash into your cart and they're going to move your cart away, you know, or somebody else's. I've had people be rude to me. I've seen people be rude to other people. You know, it's not just me always involving me. And it's like, what is wrong with people these days? The people who are like that, I mean, I have a good answer. I'm a social and behavioral scientist, but it's just getting too thick. You know, too thick. And yeah, I think it's just such a shame. So much has changed, and this isn't for the better when people are so self-centered. It's really not. Wrapping up. Talk to you on the video. Bye.